Hey, hello friends. Welcome to another video. Friends, in this video, we are going to see what are the technologies which are behind artificial intelligence. What are the core foundations of modern AI? And we all know AI means artificial intelligence. However, often we are not much aware about the technologies on which the AI actually works. Right. So in this video, we will be seeing technologies information like machine learning, like deep learning, NLP, computer vision, generative AI, system experts, right? That is expert systems, etc. So yeah, that all we will see in this video. So let's go and continue with this video. So before we move on, I keep on updating such technological content on my channel. So if you like my channel and if you like my content, kindly subscribe to my channel because I'm going to create multiple such videos on artificial intelligence and related topics. So if you like to stay updated with the details and get the information, kindly subscribe to my channel. And yeah, we can continue with the topic now. So first, we will try to understand what is AI. So basically, at its simplest, AI, that is artificial intelligence, is basically a field of computer science dedicated to creating systems that can perform tasks without requiring any human interference. However, right, and the tasks which actually required human intelligence previously, right? So basically, we can think it of it like a teaching a machine to think, learn, and solve problems rather than following a rigid set of manual instructions, right? So basically, like do in programming, right? When we consider the computer a program, we have to write everything step by step, correct? So let's say we are writing a program to add two numbers, right? Then we have to write all the instructions step by step in that program. It can be in any programming language, but we have to give everything step by step, right? And when we execute a program, computer just blindly follow the instruction and it just gives us the output, right? So it is kind of a giving instructions. I mean, it can't correct itself. If we do some syntax error or something, it cannot understand the motive behind our programming. It cannot correct itself. It will just give error and it will stop executing, right? So AI is going one step beyond that. So it's like a kind of having a system which can think for itself, right? Traditionally, whatever humans were doing, we are teaching AI to or a system which can think by itself and solve problems, right? It can understand the motive behind it and everything, right? So basically, how it actually works is instead of a programming writing every single rule, modern AI will use a machine learning so that something which can learn things by itself. Once we keep the once we keep the machine on, it can understand the information. It can use the data which is available to it, right? And then it can learn by itself. So basically, AI is what is which enables machines to learn, reason, and make decisions. And as we might have thought by now, AI is built on multiple technologies working together, right? So in the next slide, we'll understand like what are those technologies and what are the basic building blocks of any AI system, right? So yeah, let's go to the next topic. So one of the technologies which is used in AI today is that technology known as a machine learning. So basically, machine learning is something which is subset of AI, and it focuses on building systems that learn from the data, right? So basically, machine learning is a primary method which we use for AI for making a decisions, right? Or making a smart machine, basically, right? So basically, instead of a human writing a specific code for every possible scenario, we give computer an algorithm and a lot of data, basically, right? And then it will process the data and it will learn from that data. However, and it will make itself, it will make the rules by itself, basically, right? So to understand the machine learning, like we can see how it flips the traditional computing, and how it is different than the traditional computing, correct? So if we consider traditional programming, so basically what we do in traditional programming is basically there will be some human, we call that person a programmer, right? Or a programming guy, right? So that person will write a rule, and it will he will provide, or he or she will provide the inputs data also, right? And computer will run the program, and it will find the produce the output basically, right? So that is the traditional programming, right? So what happens in machine learning is, uh, in machine learning, what we do is we provide the data to computer, right? And we provide it the output, like whatever we desire, right? Whatever output we want out of the data, and then computer itself will produce the rules, right? So this is called as a model, right? So we might have heard terms like large language model and everything, right? So basically, computer will, when we provide the data and will provide the output, computer itself or machine itself will kind of create the rules, and creates a model. So basically, machine learns by itself, right? So basically, there are multiple types of machine learning. Like there is a supervised learning, there is a unsupervised learning, and then there is a reinforcement learning, right? So basically, uh, uh, this is what we call it as a machine learning, and this will improve the performance over the time as the when machine gets the data, it sees more scenarios, right? And it goes on correcting itself. Its performance will increase without explicit programming. So once we create a model, that model will keep on improving as and when it is used over the time, right? So that's how the machine learning will be working. And as we understand, machine learning is the key component in today's AI system. So there are various types of machine learning which are used. So basically, there is some learning which is known as a supervised learning, right? So in supervised learning, we will give AI a label data, right? So it will try to find the pattern between the inputs and the label data which we provide to it, right? So we'll create some further videos on each of this topic, like supervised learning, unsupervised learning. Like one of the other type of machine learning is unsupervised learning, right? So we provide AI a raw data with no labels, right? So and we just keep it free to find the pattern between the data, like clusters, own logic and patterns and everything, right? And then one more type which is known as a reinforcement learning, right? So in reinforcement learning, AI runs to trial and error. So we will see each topic in detail. I'll try to prepare a detailed video for each topic so that we can understand it in deep level. That you can use it in your various purposes like interviews or understanding of the basic concepts and everything. So yeah, so this is machine learning, and machine learning is very important because machine learning is what makes modern life predictive, feel predictive basically, right? And it's the engine behind a lot of things which we know, right? Like if we consider Netflix or YouTube recommendations, right? So basically, a people, if we watch a certain type of video, right? Then machine knows that okay, if somebody has watched a video of type X, then next video which he has watched is of type Y, right? We get it as an automatic suggestion, right? Because system knows it, right? Then there is something known as the fraud detection, right? If the bank is noticing some 2000 or 3000 charge in different country, that doesn't fit your pattern, right? If you have never done some spending from some outside country, then it might be some kind of fraud or something, right? Again, like a medical diagnosis and everything, right? Scanning of lot of X-rays, and then we tell it, okay, what kind of X-rays are indicating some disease or something, right? Something of that sort. So the fun fact here is more data is provided to ML, that is machine learning model, it gets better and better, right? So and this is the reason like very big tech companies are obsessed with the data, right? So it's the fuel that makes their machines matter, right? That's how machine learning matters in modern AI. It's very important technology. Okay. So let's see what is the next building block of AI. So let's go to the next topic, which is one of the part of the AI. The next technology which is used in artificial intelligence is something known as the deep learning. right? So basically, deep learning is a kind of a subset of machine learning only, but deep learning actually uses something similar to the neural network, right? It can handle large, complex data sets and everything, right? So basically, we can call deep learning as a subset of the machine learning, which is inspired by structure and function, which is similar to the human brain, right? So specifically how our neurons fire and connect, right? So whenever we are learning something, right? Wherever we are learning some new technology or anything new, you might be knowing this is like our neuron process goes on updating, right? When you experience something, our neurons in our brain actually connect to each other in a different way. So the neuron structure actually changes and it remembers the experience, right? So next time when we go through the same experience again, the neurons are actually having that memory, right? So that we are able to understand that this is something what we have went through previously also, or that's what we have experienced previously also, right? So basically the deep learning is something on the similar lines of the human brain. So it's trying to mimic the technology which brain has been using, right? And it is the technology like deep learning is the technology behind the most human-like AIs which we are seeing today, right? Like self-driving cars, right? Then voice assistants like Alexa or Siri, or generative models like Gemini or Grok and everything, right? So, uh, so the name deep learning comes from the way data is processed to multiple layers of the neural network. This basically it is artificial neural network. So it's not like something living or like it just be a calculus and really fast machines which are using GPUs, right? So if we see why it is called as a deep learning, because there are multiple layers of data processing, right? And it really does the deep analysis of data to come out of the logic, right? That's why it is called as a deep learning, right? So basically, the first layer is the input layer, which will receive the raw data like pixel or photo. So when we provide some image or something, right? The first layer will be input layers. Then there are a lot of hidden layers, right? Where the in-depth data analysis would be done. So there could be dozens or even hundreds of layers, and each layer identifies increasingly complex features, right? So let's say if you provide a certain photo of the face, then layer one might find the edges, right? Layer two might find the shape of eyes. Layer three might recognize some other specific person, right? Or patterns, right? And then there is the output layer. So output layer will provide the final decision. So let's say there is XYZ person. If you provide the picture and we try to know that person, right? So it will first try to understand like various patterns and it will try to match it with the data, right? And then it will come up with the output. Right? So this is what is called as a deep learning. Again, this is very important technology in modern AI, due to which we are finding the AI which are kind of a human like we can converse with the AI, we can provide the information, we can provide it something totally new information and it will be able to handle it based on the previous data which it has processed, right? So like example we saw image recognition, autonomous driving and everything, right? So again, deep learning models need a massive amount of data so that it can go through the data and it can understand like what are the various structures and everything, right? There are a lot of data requirements. Standard machine learning can with a smaller amount of data, but deep learning needs a massive amount of data, right? So basically, in traditional machine learning, if model makes any mistake, programmer can step in and it can adjust the features. But in deep learning, models are determined uh, or designed to determine on their own whether their prediction was accurate, right? So basically, let's take example of playing a guitar, right? So the approach with machine learning will be like teacher telling us exactly where to put every finger for every chord, right? That is a machine learning approach. Here, teacher is the programmer and machine is the guitar, right? But when we consider the deep learning approach, so basically in DL approach, we listen to the thousands of songs and repeatedly we try to mimic the sound which we have received. We will just keep on trying and trying and try to match the sound based on trial and error method, and gradually our brain will figure out the patterns using which the melody or rhythm has without has been generated. So here nobody is explaining to us. We are listening to the song and we are just trying to mimic that sound, right? Basically, like we are not following any specific pattern unless we find something similar, right? And then once we found the matching rhythm, and then basically we make it as a rule, right? And basically, deep learning is important because deep learning is actually responsible for various breakthroughs which we have in AI, and it is making AI feel more and more realistic, right? So, like image recognition, NLP, which is natural language processing, and self-driving cars and everything, right? So that's why deep learning is a very important block in the artificial intelligence technology. Okay, so let's see now what is the next topic on which the AI has been built. So, friend, the next technology on which the AI works, that is a NLP, so natural language processing, right? So basically, when we say natural language, it is like something which we are using for day-to-day conversation, right? Or whatever is the human language which are using for our as our natural conversation, right? So basically, let's say now we are having this video in English, but there could be other languages also, right? Which we use for communication. So it's a natural language which we use for talking the words and the sentences and everything, right? So basically, NLP processing is a particular branch of the AI which allows computer the ability to understand, interpret, and generate a human language, basically both written and spoken. Like if we consider Alexa or any other some those kind of machines, right? It can answer us in whatever language we want, right? Like whatever language have been modeled, it can answer us in English or in any other languages, correct? So basically, it is giving response in a way, in a natural way, like human is having conversation with us, correct? So this is what is called as a natural language processing. So basically, it allows machine to understand and generate the human language. So basically, NLP is a linguistic center, right? It is the reason we can talk to our phone and get a website translated instantly, right? Or we can have a conversation with various machines like Alexa and everything, right? So if we consider deep learning as a brain, then NLP is a linguistic center, like we are talking, like whenever we also talk as a human, like there is a separate part of the brain which does the calculation and everything, right? But the linguistic center allows us to learn the language, converse, have the conversation in the language, etc. Right? So basically, the big challenge in NLP is basically humans are messy, right? Like every person can talk in a different way, right? Like we cannot have the patterns in which human can talk, right? We just learn it by the experience and by knowing the person, right? So computers work on a structured data, like a spreadsheet, number, programming rules, and everything. But humans are like there is no pattern in human behavior, right? Certain person might behave in certain way, and another person might be totally different in a behavior. Correct. So, like sarcasm, one of the feeling is sarcasm. Like in sarcasm, rarely we say the actual words which we mean. Correct. So, uh, oh great, now it's another rainy day. If you take this example, then we are saying it as a oh great in word, but actually we are feeling that okay, it's not that great. Sarcasm, right? Again, ambiguity, right? Again, this is one of the feeling like where words do not match the feelings which we have, correct? Uh, then there are slangs and context which can be different for different people. Like we call sometimes that's a sick technology, or we call it as a, oh, that's sick, right? So here sick can mean like when somebody is not well, like flu or something, or something very which is really very cool, right? So the slangs and everything. Again, that is also is one of the challenges for NLP. So here NLP uses a very complex math and complex rule. to convert those messy words into something computer can process, right? So basically, again, NLP is a totally separate topic. And probably I'll try to make some videos on this also. But basically, NLP will try to understand like how we have built the sentence, right? It will kind of chop a sentence in multiple parts, kind of a tokenization, and it will create individual token, right? Then it will have some kind of a filtering of the filler word like is, at, which, right? And a lot of other technology it uses. It tries to do the sentiment analysis, like it will try to do the machine translation and everything, and then finally it will compare it with the data or meaning which it has, right, in its in its database, and it try to make a sentence out of it and understand like what we're trying to say. Similar way our brain also works, right? If we are, so for example, if we are hearing some word for the first time, uh, if we don't know the meaning, it's difficult for us also to process, right? But once we know the meaning, next time onwards, it becomes easier for us, right? If we are listening sentence of let's say 5 words, we do it in an automated way, like we do not think on it while doing. But what we actually do is we break the sentence in the word unknowingly, and then we make a meaning out of it, right? So something similar computers also do, but they use a separate technology, right? And that's what is called as a natural language processing. Again, this is one of the very important feature of AI or for technology, which allows AI to talk in a normal language. Like nobody wants to talk with in zeros and ones with computers, right? That's the reason programming languages also are created in a high level language, right? Like Java or something. We can use the actual words which we use in real life rather than typing in zero and one. However, right, so again, it is very helpful for human to converse in a normal language which we use in day to day, right? So this is one of the technology which is building block of the modern AI. So let's see what is coming next as a technology which is used in AI. So next technology or branch of the AI is a generative AI, or we call it as a Gen AI also, right? Basically, generative AI, as the word itself suggests, it can generate or create a new content, new text, images, or music. If we describe something in a word, like certain image, how we want it, right? Like nature image, what kind of a color trees should have, what kind of a color sky should have, right? Then it will be able to give us an image like we have described, right? So it's the branch of the AI which allows us to create the something entirely as a new data, right? While traditionally AI was built for analyze and categorize existing data, but generative AI can build something totally new, right? So let's say if we describe some kind of a person's image, right, then it can build in a really realistic way, and that person won't be on existing. So it has not used any existing person's face. It has created mixed up the features and everything, and it has put a totally new person, right? That's what is called as a generative AI. It can do same thing with images, text, music, and everything, right? It goes beyond the recognition to originality. Original, it can be original content where AI is a lot of, you might have seen a lot of content on Instagram, Facebook, right? Where people are showing the images, pictures, and everything. So mostly those are not real people, right? They look like real people, but those are not real people, right? But it looks exactly like some real people, right? So again, that's what generative AI does. So ChatGPT, DAL-E, and there are various other models which are working as a generative AI. So basically, generative AI is the output where the AI is finally speaking or creating the block. So basically, again, like whatever technology we saw, deep learning, LLM, and everything, right? Natural language processing and everything. So generative AI is that output block where it actually creates something new, right? So this is again one of the technology which is part of the modern AI. We'll see this in detail in some other upcoming future videos. So let's now see what is the meaning of computer vision. So basically, computer vision is a field of artificial intelligence, and it enables computers and systems to derive meaningful information from digital images, videos, and other visual inputs. So basically, when we are feeding some image or some text or anything of the visual media, right? Computer also has to analyze that, right? So that kind of is considered as the vision of computer, right? So let's say if AI enables computers to think, then computer vision enables computers to see and understand, right? So how it works from pixels to patterns is, so as we already know, the computers basically whatever we see on the screen, that is actually pixels, right? The pixels are enlightened with a different color, as and when the picture needs to be formed, right? And each image has its own pattern, right? So basically, let's consider that when we see a cat or stop sign in the image, etc., computer basically will see a massive read of numbers which are represent the color intensities, right? So this process generally will involve some steps. So one of the step is image acquisition, right? So basically capturing the visual data via cameras or sensors, right? So let's say the driving cars or any kind of image identification software or anything of that sort, right? So basically computers will capture visual via cameras or sensors. Then next step will be regarding the processing, right? The computers would need breaking the image down into pixels, and it would need to apply filters to find edges, texture, and shapes, right, of that image. So processing will be the next step. Then there will be kind of an analysis, right? So now the technology we saw, which is deep learning, uh, so specifically it involves the neural network, right, or convolutional neural network. So using that, computers will analyze that image, and basically it will try to compare these patterns against millions of labeled images, right, to identify what is being seen. So let's say computers already have stolen the images of cat and it knows kind of a pattern in the image. When it's the cat image, computers will know that pattern, like how the cat looks like. So anytime the cat image is fed, computers can create the pattern of the image being currently seen, and then it will try to kind of compare that pattern to the other patterns which it has stored in its memory, right? So sometimes we might have seen, we also get confused between two kind of animals, right? So there might be a cat, or there might be a species of, let's say, tigers or others, right, which look similar to cats or any other uh, species, right? So let's say wolf and dog, right? So these species look similar, right? So sometimes we also get confused with it. I mean, some dogs look like wolves, right? So something of that sort. Again, what our brain is trying to do is, it is whenever we are seeing certain animal, our brain tries to map it to the pictures which we have previously seen and labeled, right? So we know what dogs look like, we know what cat and leopard looks like, right? So whenever we see a similar image, our brain processes it and then it labels it, right? So similar thing is done by computers also, but for that the technology which they use is not the computer vision, right? So basically it is used for interpret and analyze the visual data. So object detection, facial recognition, etc. are the uh, things which are used by computer vision, right? So examples are like self-driving cars, medical imaging, and everything. That is something which is considered as a computer vision. So this is also one of the block of the modern AI, where the visual media can be interpreted by the AI system. So let's see what is the next module of the AI. So one of the other system which is used in the AI algorithms is kind of expert systems, right? So basically, expert systems are kind of a rule-based engine or kind of a rule-based mechanism, and it works basically on the if-else logic. So basically, it's uh, a lot of rules written based on the if-else condition, right? So we can think it of it, think it. Uh, so basically, this was developed in late 1970s and 80s only, where the unlike the modern AI, which is majorly learning from the data, so expert system is a basically pre-programmed with human knowledge to solve specific complex problems. And basically, it's a kind of if-else kind of a condition uh, uh, set collection. So basically, we can think of it as a massive collection of a if-then logic, right? Basically, it doesn't guess, it doesn't try to generate anything new or something of that sort. The reasons are, it reasons based on the manual written by the humans. So let's say I write 100 if then condition. So basically, whenever I ask any question to the system, it will just go on comparing if else, that kind of a logic. And wherever it found the closest match or wherever it found the match based on the programming, it will do that answer. So it's kind of that system, right? So basically, it is based on the data which is written by the human only. So it has three major parts. Like one of it is a knowledge base, like a library. So that will contain all the facts, rules, right? Or all the tricks of the trade which are gathered by the human expert in a specific field, like doctor, geologist, or anything. Then there is the inference engine. So basically, this is a software that applies the rules from the library to use a specific problem. So it has a forward chaining and backward chaining, right? So forward chaining basically starts with the facts and works towards the solution, and backward chaining is the something like which will start with a goal and it will work backward towards to see if it is true. And then there will be kind of a user interface where the communication layer where we can type the details and we can ask the follow-up question, right? So basically, it is a rule-based system. Still, it is used in fields where medical diagnosis, troubleshooting, and other things which are needed to be followed, right? In this industry where precision and explanations are vital, uh, these things are used. So I think this is one of the module of the AI system. So let's see what is the next module. So these were the some of the major blocks of the AI system on which the AI system is currently being built on. So now we can see some of the high level challenges or risks basically, right? So basically, a lot of these modules they need a lot of data. So that's the reason all the systems or all the AI tools, right? Now they have kind of become a data hungry. They need a lot of data. They collect data from wherever they can, right? And all those stuff. So all the data, there's a lot of data dependency. Again, bias and fairness, right? So we have seen that uh, I mean, there have been rumor that this kind of tools training or the some of the social media sites have been specifically programmed so that they only show certain type of data during elections, etc. Right? So whatever data we feed, based on that, the system could become biased and it could lose its fairness, right? So it is responsibility to have all that is data correctly, and we do not feed some biased data, right? Let's say somebody has only fed certain type of data, then what will happen is these tools will have a biased kind of output coming, and that will not be a kind of a right thing, right? So that's again one of the problem. Again, ethics and governance, right? So whatever things are being done by AI or whatever things are being processed by AI, right? So there will be a lot of questions related to ethics and other stuff. So again, that is also one of the challenge which is being considered. So these are some of the challenges and risks which are being considered. We can see as a conclusion, basically, so AI, though we are only seeing some of its part, it's very clear now, right? It is not built on a single technology. It is powered by multiple technologies, and there are a lot of in detailed tasks being done in the back end for any proper AI system to work, right? So each AI technology has unique strength and application, and together they shape the future of the intelligence system. So, friends, these were some of the major blocks which are building the current AI system, right? So, probably I'll try to make individual videos on these steps also because each system is very massive and it does its own kind of a work, right? So, if you have been there uh, till this point in this video, so thanks a lot for sticking, and I hope that you find this content useful. So, I will be making some future videos also. So if you like my content, kindly subscribe to my channel, and you can share this with your friends who are looking to have some understanding of AI and other systems, right? Or systems around it, because the coming future will be of the AI only. And I think every field of the technology or every field of life will have some kind of AI involved. We are seeing that currently also. Our mobile phones are like uh, machines which are using for all the kind of inputs and tools, right? So other systems also slowly will get integrated with the AI, right? So it's very essential to have the AI knowledge. So that's why I am kind of preparing videos on these. I hope you find these videos helpful. So to support me, you can kindly subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and colleagues so that they can also find it useful. So thanks for watching my video, and take care, and we'll meet in next video where we can talk more about these topics. Thank you. Okay, bye.